Hello, my name is Reinout, and today I will be teaching you how to program this, our Fidelix multi-display. This is a room panel, Modbus room panel, Modbus RS485, works on 2 wires, powered by 24 volts, and you can fit this nicely into a buttress box on your wall, on the wall socket. And today we'll be looking at how to program this.
Let's start by going to our website, fidelix.com, and here you can click the partner.fidelix.com link. Here we click on the multi-display, and you will start by opening the Getting Started manual. Let's download the graphics editor, and let's save that on my desktop, and the multi-display converter. So the graphics editor, let's extract that here on my desktop, and let's go into this. So here there's the editor program and the exe file. This program, as you can see, consists of 3 parts. Left is the navigation menu of the program itself. In the middle here we have the index part that will display the different pages that you have, and here on the right is the actual page. So let's start by opening a file. It's going to go to my desktop and navigate to the demo folder that comes with the download of the graphics editor. Here we will open the start page first. Here you can see that you have all kinds of elements inside a green box. The green box is just for indicating where the borders of the display are. If you double click any of the elements, or if you right click them and say edit object, or if you select them and you say Control E, then you can edit the parameters of each element. Here, let's open one of these. Let's open the temperature set point, and here you can see this is going to be the heating temperature set point. So this is linked to point 2. Each point is linked to a set of Modbus registers on the display, and can hold a value of 32 bits. So point 2 is going to be my heating point set point. I'm using this show point value, which means that it shows the actual value of the register. For instance, here I'm showing a text. I'm not using show point value because I'm showing a text indicating what that value means. If I go back here, the temperature set point, yeah, I have a divider and a unit that is used for showing more understandably the value for the end user. This one is just a placeholder, this text. This can be anything, but it makes the designing a lot easier. This point 2 is also repeated in the up and down arrows. If you look here at the point ID field, if I hover this up, it says point ID point 2. So that means it's working on the same registers, and if I'm having 3 values in the fixed value field that starts with a plus or a minus, that means that it's going to be an incrementing or a decreasing button. So in this case, plus 5, my values will jump or increase in steps of 5 between 180 and 250. The same goes for the down button. I have minus 5 from 180 to 250. This is of course shown as 18.0 through to 25.0 on the display. I don't have this controller set value box ticked. That is, for instance, ticked if I go to the sensor values page on this one. Here I have controller set value ticked. That means that if the user presses that value, a pop-up window comes where the user can enter an actual value, which is why I will use here a minimum and maximum delimiter so that the user cannot just enter 999 if they choose to do so. Another way to show values is by text, like I mentioned before. So here I have an off, low, mid, high, and auto text that is shown. Since I don't have controller set value or show point value ticked, it's just a visualization. So this is making it clear for the end user. Here, with these buttons, I can actually select the value that this 0.6 should go to. value is 3. If I press it here, it goes to fixed value 2. This one will go to 1, and this one will go to 0. If we look at these and I go to the symbols, you can see here quite clearly for each of those different values, I have a set of images that go from 0 to 4 because I want to show something even when that value is not selected. So here for the off, I have the 0 is the one that's showing active. For the 1, I have the first one that is being shown, and for the outdoor, this 4th, and so forth. So you will see that there's always a 640 at the end. That is because the graphics editor is used for other things than the multi-display also, but you need to still name all the symbols that you use. You need to name them like that. You can see that here. If we go to this demo project symbols folder, you can see here all of those files, they end with 640. Another way here, this button, for instance, has 2, or well, it can have 3 or 4 or 5 or as many values as you like. These are the values that the register value will go through when you press it. So when it was 0 and 1, that means it's just an on-off button. We can have links between different pages by entering link here and then entering the actual page that it needs to go through here. You can set passwords on them like here with a parameter password. And you will see all kinds of different ways to do that in the manual. Once you have finalized your project, we can use the converter and convert the pages that we just made. I'm going to select the transparency. I don't want any warnings. And you will select large memory. We don't sell the small memory anymore. We click open file and you open the first page that will always show up when your display is powered on. I open the start page, and as you can see, the converter loops through all the pages that it finds. It follows all the links, takes screenshots, so don't put anything on top of it while this process is running. And once it's finished, it will let you know. So it's now using 39% of the available space in the display. And I click this send to micro SD card button. That means it is now copying the files. As you can see, it copied the files to my memory cards. Voila! The only thing left to do is put your memory card in the display, power it up, let the pages load into the internal memory, power it off, take out the memory card, and for the last time, power your display back on. You will be good to go. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them here below the video or just contact me directly from our partner page. Hope that you will be very successful in your projects with our multi-display.